Right, welcome to our YouTube channel. We've decided to start a little YouTube channel because we discovered our interest in vaping things, and we were looking around the internet to try and find out what's worth vaping and what's not. Oh my god. Is your tongue come on?
No, I just managed to vape in the dog.
Okay, so we decided to try vaping. We got ourselves an iTaste 134. We got ourselves a Vano V5. We've got some other vapors as well, but these are the two best. And the reason we picked these is we decided that if we're going to run a test on all these e-liquids on the internet, we would try and do it very scientifically. So both of these vaporizers can actually set themselves to 9 watts. And we decided that we'd try everything at 9 watts, so we got a fairly balanced view of things. And we sent off for... This is going to be the longest YouTube review ever. We decided we'd do the first 15 e-liquids. So we did this because when we sent away for a few e-liquids, some of them were very crap and some of them were very good. And we tried to get reviews on YouTube about which ones were good and which ones weren't. We couldn't find much. So my son and I, although I've got questions of his mother about exactly what went on that day, decided to review these. And we decided to score them. So we're going to put up a table, and what we'll do is we'll do one review for each of the e-liquids, and we'll also do a final YouTube channel with the results of our findings and what we do best. And the idea will be is that we'll add to this over time and adjust the template and adjust the scores, and people over time will see what we think. And if anyone's got suggestions, then send them our way. If you want us to try something in particular, or you want us to send something for us to try, or you want to make a recommendation or a comment, then by all means do so. So, while Captain Chaos here is busy vaping away, let me just tell you about the one that we've got. So, this is the one that we're going to test on this particular channel, and it's called Snake Oil. And we've got this from a place called T-Max. It's called Dr. Stanley Clark's Original Recipe Snake Oil. Now, I've got to be honest, I picked up on this on several of the forums out there. People saying they tried this and it was very, very good. And I was a bit skeptical. But when it arrived, it was the first one. I mean, there's several of them got them now. But it was the first one that we'd seen with droppers. And if you can see the liquid, you probably can, because I doubt the resolution's that good. But it's a murky, sort of dirty dishwater colour. And I was a bit skeptical. Now, one of the things about these reviews is him being young, but old enough to do all this, he's got, or should have, a good sense of taste and smell. I, on the other hand, have lost my sense of smell. I lost it a few years ago, so I actually only have an acute taste. And one of the things we found with a lot of these flavours is the flavour only is barely there. Most of the flavour that most people are thinking they're getting from these things is actually aromatic, and it's there is actually very little flavour on the tongue to be had. A lot of you are getting your taste from the smell. But we're here to discuss this one on this snake oil. It's set at 9 watts, and I've had some really good impressions of this. Now, all of these are brand new. None of these have been steeped or set aside for days at a time, or adjusted, or anything in any way, shape or form. They've all arrived within sort of 24-48 hours. We've got a variety of tanks. We've got the Aspire, we've got iClear 30s, we've got a couple of new tanks arrived
from Tank 3, dual coil.
Yeah, dual coil from Kanga, and we've got some other ones. So, I'm going to take a toke on this, and I'm going to pass it to Tris, and we'll tell you what we think.
Second toke.
Right, so first let me tell you, this stuff comes as a 30ml bottle. It's £13. I would say the colour we gave it a 6 out of 10. Packaging and appearance, we kind of like the old-fashioned label of a 7. But taste and smell, Now, I can't judge for smell, but taste. This is probably one of the nicest tasting e-liquids we've come across. I mean, when I take this across the top of my tongue, I get a hint of mint, which is quite prevalent through most of these, but I get a lot of lemon, I get hints of lime. It's very floric. If anyone's into wines or anything like that, you know that sort of very flowery taste you get from Alsace wines. This is very much like that. This is fantastic. I don't know who blended this. I don't know how they came across these ingredients or how they came across this taste and smell, but it is really, really good. It's definitely one I will be coming back to time and again. The only other thing I would say to you is this has 6 milligrams of nicotine in it. Okay, so some of these that we'll be testing have up to 18 milligrams of nicotine, but the majority of them have 0 milligrams of nicotine. So we'll be telling you all about that when and if we come to it. What do you make of the smell? Because you, like I said, I've lost my sense of smell, so you're going to have to rely on you.
I suppose minty, melony, citrus fruits a lot of the time. But you're definitely right in the undertone of mint, because that's something that hits and you get hit for the citrus fruits first, then you get hit by the mint underneath, but it also stays, and it's like, it's quite prevalent when you walk, like if someone else is smoking, you can smell it perfectly well, and it's very distinctive compared to the other ones, apart from the grape one, which is strong.
Yeah, well, we'll come over to those one at a time, and they'll be in our other videos. But yeah, this is great. I mean, the other thing with the Aspire tank, by the way, is it has air holes, a variable airflow, so you can get you can adjust the draw strength that you need to suck to get the vape. So it's more of a cigarette feel to it, because you can actually make it very, very wide open and virtually no such as required at all, and you get a big mouthful, or you can make it very tight. I take it you've been smoking something before this.
Yeah. Vape.
Very yes. The other thing we found is coffee. We find that we sat around and drunk some coffee, and the sour note of the coffee does bring out the taste quite a lot more, and I can certainly taste it. But there is a chance that the coffee might actually be influencing the smells and things. But all in all, price per milliliter, this works out to 43 pence per milliliter. So 30 mils, £13. Again, it's snake oil from T-Max. We've given this a taste of 8, smell of 8, a colour of 6, and a packaging and appearance of 7. And like I said, it's got 6 milligrams of nicotine in it. Now, don't worry too much about these scores at the moment. Like I said, one of our episodes that we'll film will actually have the table for you all to review. And yes, I mean, initially we'll get these first 15 out over the next few days.
And I mean, on our YouTube channel, we'll be keeping a constant list of our stuff, so we'll have our best choice going up first and like our worst. So after we've done all these episodes, we'll have our list showing up on the website, on our YouTube channel, and they'll be constantly changing. We'll give you guys links to where we want to go, where you can buy it from, our ratings, our views.
The other thing we find is quite handy to do is to have another vape handy to offset the taste. So again, if you're looking for comparisons of flavours and stuff, this is the one that we'll be using to base everything against. This was our first one that we really enjoyed. There are some here that we'll tell you about. Quite frankly,
don't.
Yeah, they're just rubbish. You just waste. Not with your time or money, or even bothering putting into a chamber. In fact,
it's a waste of a chamber.
Yeah.
Is that great?
Yeah, so this is our grape one, and it's very, very, very fruity. But we'll talk about that a bit later. But for the moment, I think this one rocks it for me. This will have a permanent place in the Aspire Nautilus chamber.
Oh, it shouldn't have nicotine though. Like, if I could say one thing, it wouldn't have nicotine, because as I was having it earlier, like, I took it in and you could actually feel it just nip your throat a bit.
Yeah, it's a throat hit. So a lot of people actually like the nicotine throat hit to get that little bump going on.
No.
I don't even know whether they do this without the nicotine, but if they do, it's probably worth doing. Anyway, hopefully we haven't talked too much rhubarb or too much waffle. And that's our first review done. We'll do another one very shortly, and we'll start comparing things. In fact, I think the next one we probably should do would probably be the grape.
Yeah, grape will probably be our base standard the
Yeah,
entire time.
we'll talk about that.
Right.
So, thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time. Bye.